So what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Gabriel Pro. Today we are going to see a very simple cloud shader that you can do in 10-15 minutes in Unity with a pretty good result. And since many people have asked, here we go, we are going to see a cloud shader today. Just want to say that these videos are possible thanks to my patrons. By supporting me, you get a lot of assets for your games, visual effects, shaders that you can use in all of your projects. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it and let's see how to make these clouds. So, we are going to need two very simple things. A plane with a lot of divisions, which we are going to do a little bit later, and then the cloud shader. And by the way, I'm using the Unity version 2020.3.14 with the universal render pipeline. And in the package manager I have shader graph installed. We are going to need it. So in my scene I have some simple mountains and a plane for the ground. And we are basically going to create something similar to this, which are transparent, they have holes, and as you can see if you get closer they have kind of a thickness, basically they aren't flat, and we are also going to see how we can do it. And this is a plane that I've made in Blender. I'm also going to show you how you can do it. But for now we can start with a plane. So with right click, in your scene you can go to 3D object and create a plane. We want to reset this transform so it goes to the origin of the world, and we basically want to push this up until it's above, well, in this case the mountains. And then I'm gonna scale this up really a lot, something like 70 in the X, 1 in the Y and 70 in the Z, until it covers a nice area of your sky, basically. If we go below it, we don't see it, but we are going to fix it in a moment. That's shader related. I just want to mention that in lighting, I'm also using fog. You can find lighting options in window and rendering, as well as a global volume, basically some post-processing effects, which you can create with right click, by the way. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the shader. With right click in the folder, we can go to create, and then in shader we can select blank shader graph. I'm gonna name it clouds shader tooth and double click to open it up. I'm gonna drag this into to more or less around here, and then we can already create a material out of this shader with right click, select material. We can assign this material, by the way, to the plane we just created, simply drag and drop it. Okay, looking good. So it's purple, that's normal because we don't have any active target. In this case, in the graph inspector inside the shader, we want to add universal as the active target. And if you save this asset, as you can see now, it goes back to its original color, but we cannot see it whenever we go below it, and that's because two-sided is turned off. If we turn it on and save it, now we can see from both sides. Basically this shader now renders the two sides of a face of any object. Okay, so how do we start this? Well, we start by pressing spacebar, and if you go to procedural, we got three noise options. The simple noise is the one that looks better, basically, because we basically need a texture for this. And these are procedural textures, procedural noises. The simple noise, it has a scale option, which is useful to control the scale of the clouds. So we can create a float, so we can control it in the inspector, and call it cloud scale. If we select this property, we can set the default value to 120, for example, and connect it to the scale, right here, and connect the simple noise to the base color. If you save it, you will see the noise applied to the plane, as you can see. It's a start, as you can see, it kind of looks like clouds. But it's very static, we need to animate it, we need to add motion. The way we do it is with a tiling and offset node. If you connect it to the UV of the simple noise and play with this offset option, as you can see, it scrolls basically the simple noise. So we need to animate this offset. We do it with a time node, which is always counting, and if we multiply it, for example, with a vector 2, call it cloud speed. Let's drag it here. Let's create the time node. If we multiply these two together, and connect to the offset, it will animate the noise texture. We just need to select the plane and in the inspector now increase the Y of the cloud speed, for example, to a small value like 0.005. And as you can see now it's moving. You can obviously try different values. Lower values works best because it's clouds and they don't move that much. Now we also need a way to control the density of the clouds. And there's a very simple node that can do it, which is a power node. If you connect it like this, as you can see, if we increase the B option, we are starting to see less noise. So let's create a float for that and call it clouds power. Default value of 1. Connect it to the power. And now what we can also do before testing this out is add a color property, so we can control the color and the intensity. It's very important that you set the mode to HDR to control the intensity. You can then select a white color and increase the alpha to 100. This color property we only need to multiply it with the last node, the power node, and replace the connection to the base color. And that's it. If we save it, nothing changes because we need to play with these values a little bit. So if we go to the color of the clouds, select a bluish color, something like this, and then play a little bit with the intensity, we get a different feeling. Then with the clouds power. It may not seem like it, but we are decreasing the density of the clouds. And it may not seem like it because we don't have transparency. So let's go back to our shader and let's drag a line from the power, create a multiply node, and create a float for the clouds alpha. In other words, the clouds transparency. 1 for the default value. But this shader is set to opaque. We don't have an alpha input. So in the graph settings, the surface, instead of opaque, we can set it to transparent. Down here now we have an alpha input. And we can connect this multiply. If we save the shader, now most of the clouds disappear. Any value that is darker, that is black, it's transparent. So that's when clouds power become useful. We can decrease it. As you can see, we get a nice white cloud. That's very interesting already. It's something. You can then make it less transparent or even more dense, even more opaque by increasing or decreasing alpha, as you can see. You have to find a nice balance between these two values. I'm gonna leave it at 1.4 for the power and 1.5, 1.6 for the alpha, more or less. Another thing we can do for this simple cloud shader, if you look closely, we have always the same pattern. We can follow the pattern. We need to add a little bit of distortion to this. Clouds form and dissolve themselves. They don't stay always the same. The way we can simulate that is we can push these nodes back here, press Ctrl C and then Ctrl V, because we are going to need the same setup. We need basically another simple noise scrolling in a different direction. So let's remove this cloud scale and call it distort scale in a new float. Default value of 60. And a new vector 2 for the distort speed. And replace the connection here. Now all we need is to multiply these two together and replace the connection to the power node. If we save it, nothing seems to change because distort speed is at 0. But if we start increasing it, especially if it's faster, a little bit faster, not that much. Let me just decrease a little bit the cloud's power. Decrease the alpha. Okay. If you look closely, you will notice that they are kind of forming and dissolving. It adds a nice touch. Small speed values will work a little bit better in this case. Okay, so that's looking very interesting, as you can see, and the shader is pretty much done, at least in the aspect terms. Now, if we want to add a little bit of thickness, we are going to need a new plane, with a lot of subdivisions, basically with a lot of faces and triangles. You just need to use Blender, and in the default scene you can press A to select everything and delete it. And with Shift A we can add a plane. This plane, if you go to the modifiers, this button, we can add a subdivision surface modifier. We want it to be in simple mode. If you press Z to see through, so we can see the faces, nothing much is happening because we need to turn off optimal display. As you can see, we already have a cross in the middle, which means it's divided in 4 parts. We want much more faces, so let's increase the levels viewport to the maximum, which is 6. Obviously, this will affect the performance in case it's for mobiles. You can apply the changes now and then divide once again, only one time, just like this is more than enough. We can add a little bit of curvature to this. We can, for example, enter in edit mode with tab and select everything with A, select only this vertex in the middle, and then press O or go up here and turn it on, which is proportional editing. This will influence the vertex around. You can scroll up and down to increase the influence. And then press G and Z to lock it in the Z and push it a little bit up, something like this. As you can see, we have a nice curvature. Okay, so we have this concave plane, and now we can simply save this Blender file direct to Unity. In my case, I saved it to the models folder, which is a folder I have created, and now we can drag and drop it to our scene. It's very small. I'm going to press F to focus on the plane and increase the X and Y to 250 and the Z, in this case, to 250 as well. Let me just remove the other plane and then assign the material with the clouds, the one we created. As you can see, it looks very nice. The cool thing now is that with the Z we can control the wobble, basically the curvature of this plane. I'm gonna leave it at 350 in my case because I want this to be a little bit round. So that was the first step. Now the second step is we need to go back to the shader. You can and you should obviously adjust the values a little bit. Once you go back to the shader, we want to play with this vertex position input that we have here, and it's very simple. We want to pick the normal vector of each vertex. We can search for normal vector, the node, and set it to object. Object means that it's the vertices of this mesh. You can multiply this with the output of the power node, and then multiply this with a float called Vertex Offset, for example. We are going to add this information of the normal vector that we modified to the position of each vertex. We can do it by searching for a position node and set the space to object, which is each vertex. And then we can connect this to the position input of the vertex function of our shader. If we save these assets and go to the inspector, now something awesome will happen. Whenever we increase a little bit, let me just make this less brighter. And now whenever we increase the vertex offset, small values like 0.05, 0.1 for example, get closer now to the clouds. As you can see, they are kind of volumetric. And that adds a really nice touch, especially if in your game the player gets closer to the clouds. And just look at this, it's awesome. I'm going to decrease a little bit the fog to 0.01. And that's looking very interesting. The only thing missing is that if you want to add holes to this, basically if you want to see some shadows on the ground, we need to go to the graph inspector in our shader and turn on alpha clip. And we simply need to create a float, call it alpha clip for example, and connect it to this input right here, the alpha clip threshold. Save the assets, and now if you increase that property, the alpha clip, you will start to see some holes in your clouds, as you can see. And this can be quite awesome depending on your art style, obviously. But it's an extra step, it's something extra that you can add to your clouds and make them look a little bit better. You then obviously need to play with all of these values, adjust them until you find a nice balance, something you like. But that's pretty much it, guys. This project is available on my Patreon page and many other projects in case you want to support me. That will be awesome and very much appreciated. I have links below, and it's so well appreciated that I want to say a big thank you to each patron. All of you matter a lot to me, and as usual, a special shout out to the top tier patrons, which are Al, Elak Frost, Alex Berg-Jones, Eric Oftikian, Bradford Arendt, David Crew, David Lars, Diana Simonian, Donald Thompson, Electric Brain, Game Go Joe, Goblin Plague, Hostile Mars Game, John Denis Paul, Jeremy Martin, Josh McCormick, Jules Klein, Lianos, Maxim, Madhav Gupta, Matthew Chatter, Mikhail Tello, Mograph Tech, Nat Sims, Oitsk, OV Sands, Radioactive Bullfrog, Revenant Games, Ricard Cruz, Tyler Fritz, Unknown Enigma, Verisuta, and Ingu Das. Thank you so much for your support, you keep the channel alive so I can keep on making these videos. To everyone watching this video, I hope you have enjoyed this simple clouds shader. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.